around the room. Just turn around and look at the people still sitting here. Recognize them? Yeah. Wow, you brave people. It's Saturday morning. You could have stayed in bed. And you came yesterday, and you were brave enough to come today as well. Congratulate yourself. Wow. And then I want you to turn to someone that you don't know, maybe behind you, and I want you to say, wow, congratulations and good morning in your language. Congratulations and good morning. So I have a question. I think your language must contain a lot more words than mine. I would just say gratulerer og god morgen. So I have a question for you. Do you know anyone that has been really successful in their business? Do you know anyone that has been really actualizing, really actualizing excellence in their business? Could that be you, perhaps? I thought I was actualizing excellence in my business. I thought I was doing so well. I was having this, by that time we called it, we didn't call it IT business because IT wasn't found out, that word wasn't used by that time. It was EDV, electronic data devices. So I was having my computer business and I thought I was actualizing excellence. I was having this great product and I was having customers and I was representing an international brand, so I was traveling all around the world with these nice meetings, and my husband will be the wife coming with me. Because he would be the only man in the room, because I was only women up on that position. So he would have the pleasure of being on the wife activities, which was going shopping and looking at jewelry and all this nice stuff that he's really, really interested in. So I was having 5 employees as well, 5 men. I like working with men, so I was in the man's world and I was really doing well, successful, but at some time the cost became too much. The cost became too much. I thought that because my calendar was full, and it was full, it was even that full that if it was one day that wasn't taped in that I had something to do, I would panic. Because I needed something to do every day. I needed some customer to meet, or something to do, or some party to go to, or something to do. So I thought if my calendar wasn't full, I would be okay. But it was full, so I was successful, right? It was full. Have you seen the commercial of the Duracell rabbit? So I think I was operating like that. I was running around. Running, doing all this stuff, selling, customers, traveling, and I felt so good, because I was so successful. And then suddenly the battery said, went totally dead. It was like somebody just pulled the emergency brake, and then, no stopping. So, Michael would have put me in the quadrant of the self-actualization quadrant and the quadrant 2. Lena Gray was also telling me about that. That's a burnout quadrant. I didn't know that because I am a performer. And I was just doing whatever I had to do. And I'm the kind of person that cannot not do it. And I was getting success in those 10 years. Before I started that computer business in the middle of the 80s, until I was lucky enough to sell it in the middle of the 90s, I kind of forgot that I got married and I got 2 children in between. Because I was performing all the time. I was even breastfeeding, so I was bringing the kids to the office or running down at lunchtime to breastfeed so I could still go to meetings and customers. And then, the emergency brake. Suddenly like that. So I had looked upon myself, and I had been looked upon as successful. But was I? Was I actualizing excellence? Maybe in some ways. If you look at the external things, I got a nice husband. I still got, well, luckily enough, children, house. I had the business. I even sold the business after the emergency brake came on. But there was a missing link because I was not happy. My head did all this stuff, my hand did all this stuff, but where was my heart in it? And I do have a heart. I know my husband sometimes thinks I don't, but I really, it's there. I can even hear it. So, what was the missing link? You know what the missing link was. It wasn't meaningful enough for me. I didn't do what I had passion for. I didn't love what I did. And sometimes I didn't even understand why I did it. I just did it. Because I was told that I had to sell this and this much from the owners of the... I was actually selling, I was selling those kind of things. Projectors, in focus, an American agency. And I do like this because we had the first portable projector in the world. And the quality of it was shit. The video was terrible and the data was terrible, but it was portable. Before we had used the small screens that we put up on the overhead, for those of you who are old enough, to remember. So one of the first portable one, 25 kilos. And at the same time, I was having, I forgot to tell you, because at the same time as building up this business for those 10 years, I was actually having a full-time other job for 5 of those years. I was what was I? Stewardess. I was working as a stewardess. So I could tell my customers that this portable unit, you can have it traveling with you, and it even went up to the hat rack. I did not tell them that you have no way to show it under your seat. So I did all those things. I was selling, I was doing, but it didn't give me meaning. So the missing link. The missing link. So that's what I'm going to talk about today, because I had to rediscover who I wanted to be. Because the one I was right now, I didn't like very much. I mean, I was in bed most of the time for 2 years. That's not a party. That's not making my life a party. So I wanted to get a new image. I wanted to redesign myself inside out. Because I had been doing a lot of good things, but it didn't work for me. So what I'm going to talk about is 3 important keys that I think helps, and I've been coaching a lot of people. So it's 3 things. One is power up. And again, as an airlines hostess, I will always ask you to, if an emergency exit should occur, pull down your oxygen mask and use it on yourself before aiding others. And you do know why, right? It would be sad if you would die helping, so it's a better solution, to pull it down. So what is power up? And I had to power up right here. I cannot power up in the past, and I cannot power up tomorrow I'll start. I have to power up right here, today. So the first one is powering up. The second one is find your meanings. Find your meanings. And then do something. Get going. If you just find your meanings, oh, I have all these meanings, yeah, it's so wonderful. If you don't do anything. So find your meanings and get going. And the last one is know your customer. That's not enough. You need to love your customer. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And my name is Lena. I say Lena, but I don't really know why, because there is another Lena here, and we are only losing our identities because we all get mixed up. So Lena.
We're strengthening our identity.
Lena, I'm from Norway, and you know Norway is in Scandinavia. Yes. Norway is the land of the midnight sun, and if you go in and Google midnight sun, you can have a joy looking at all those pictures. It's beautiful. It's quite a long land, country, but we're only 4 million people, so we have a lot of space. So in Norway, we never talk, we're never close to people when we talk, you know. We're never like this when we talk. That would be a little uncomfortable, so we like to keep distance. Most people. You notice that I didn't. I'm kinesthetic, so I'm more like a toucher. But 4 million people. 4 million people. So I started up my coaching, my training school. It's called Coach Team House of Leadership. And I have my colleague with me, Erika, where are you? Yay! So we're doing this business, Coach Team House of Leadership. And we've done that for 11 years now. And it's the biggest academy, coach academy school in Norway. And we also do, what our main thing is, going into businesses, doing leadership program, doing trainings, workshop, keynote speaking. So that's the main business. So I've been building that up for the last 11 years. So I think I can qualify a bit, tell you about how I got there. And that's what I'm going to do. So it's going to be something about my stories, and then I'm going to tell you the other stories that I have experienced so that you can apply them to your life. Because even though I use myself as an example, I want you to start reflecting how this applies to you as well. Is that okay? And you're not going to sit down all the time. I'm going to ask you to participate. I'm going to ask you to turn around. I'm going to ask you to discuss a little thing with somebody beside you, or preferably behind you, because you might have sat down close to someone that you know a bit, because you're a bit safe. And I want you to step out of your comfort zone. Because if you stay in your comfort zone, wow, you're the master in your comfort zone, aren't you? You can talk with the one beside you. She knows you so well anyway. But I'm asking you to stretch up and talk to someone that you don't know. So you might have to arrange a little bit or even move seats. Is that okay? Yes. Okay. So the first thing I did in the present, and I loved you, Mandy, for the poem you had yesterday. You said, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and what you got right in the present is a gift, or the now is a gift. That's why it's called the present. So I really like working in the present. I really like to go down and say, okay, so what is the situation right now, right here, right now, before I start dreaming, and then before I start learning from all the experience that I already got. So in the present, I had to redesign myself. So I started with thinking about what were my weaknesses, but most of all, what were my strengths. And I knew my strength. I had been working as a crew, as an airline hostess. We had different people we worked with all the time. And I've been building up that business, so I knew I was good in working with a team. And I knew I could speak. And I knew I could smile. And I knew I could laugh. And as an airline hostess, as well as a salesperson and a manager, whatever I called myself at that time, I was also getting very good at observing people and observing what kind of patterns they had and what they did, because on the airline, God, it's like a jungle. You see so much. So I've been good at reflecting and thinking and detecting patterns. So I did detect that I had a lot of patterns that I really had to work with. my weaknesses was that I was performing too much. I was just doing all the time. So I had to look at that. How do I want to work with that? So in doing that process, I started to think. And first I was thinking that, oh, but I am like this. I'm always going to be like this. But then I started shifting my focus away from the past, because I was like butting into the future a lot. I was having my focus here. So I would just turn around and I would ask myself, so who do I want to be? Who do I want to be? And why do I want to be like that? How do I want my life to be? And I was saying, wow, was that an eye-opener? Could I decide who I wanted to be? Can you decide that? Who you want to be? Do you have to change personality? What is personality? I can change the way I look upon things. I can change my thinking. And then hopefully that will change my behavior as well. But that doesn't mean I'm not me. The inner core of me is still there. Because I do hear a lot of excuses here. Well, oops, I'm 50 now. You can't change me. I'm too late. I'm too old. Or I used to say that if you just could change my husband.
What's wrong with that?
Or if you could change my boss. I didn't have a boss, but if you could change everybody else, my life would be fine. So you can change behavior as well, and that doesn't really change who you are. So think about if there should be a great monument being raised in your city, in your home city. A great monument. And there should be written something about you there. Would you like that to be, well, she was too old to change. Or she was the one that always was concerned about what everybody else was doing. But she didn't do anything. She was the one that never took responsibility. She was the one that never helped. She was the one that was too busy speaking about people than to people. Is that the things you want on your monument? This is no. Is this the thing you want to be written on your monument? No. If the newspaper editor should come in today and he would write something about you, what should he write? What headlines should he use? What do you want people to say about you when you are not there? How do you want people to speak of you? What do you want to be known for? That's a pretty deep question. What do you want to be known for? What should people say about you? So as you start reflecting, what do you want to be known for? What should be on your monument? Maybe a sentence, maybe 2 and 3 profound words that you want people to know about yourself. So I want you to test it out already. I want you to test it out. I want you to turn around, speak to someone, and just tell them your thoughts. It might not be finished, and it might not be perfect. Of course not. I just asked you a couple of minutes ago. But already you've got an idea. And this is just for a start. What do you want people to say about you when you're not there? What kind of impact would you make on other people, on the world, in the customers, with the people that you're surrounded with? What kind of impact would you like to make? Turn around, start talking. So thank you. And that, like, starting to say out those kind of words are doing something with you, isn't it? Because You're speaking them out. Instead of just thinking them, you're speaking them out. So thank you for sharing. Because there is something about connecting the whole you in things. Because so many times I read books and I listen to people and I intellectually understand it. I intellectually understand that salt is not good for me also. And that especially potato chips is not. But I still love it. So there's a lot of things I intellectually understand. And I read about it. But I still don't do it's up here. And I can have conversations about it, I can even have discussions about it, and I can even sound like an expert on it sometimes, but it's in my head. And then there is something that I really do believe. My heart is in. And it's valuable for me. And I will not compromise. I will learn my hell no and yes from the meta yes, meta no pattern. I learn what to say yes and no to because I really believe in things. And then it's the hand doing things. Doing. And we have the example of me with just the head and the hands working together without the heart. And sometimes just the heart is working. Everything. Oh, how are you today? Are you okay? Can I do something for you? Can I bring you something? How are you feeling right now? So it could just be my heart operating, that I was so concerned about how people were doing, how I was doing, how everything was meaningful, but I didn't do anything, and I didn't really intellectually understand what kind of consequences that would give me. So I needed to connect all of that together. And then, when you are doing that, then the congruency is coming out. Then you will walk the talk. Then you will be authentic. So that's a process. And do it with me now. Let's touch head, heart, hands. Head, heart, hands. Head, heart, hands. Head, heart, hands. So I wanted to get things into action as well. So this is the kind of connections we're going to talk about. We're going to understand things, but we will also really need to believe in it and then get it out. Then do the actions around it. And to do that, really, I think the first thing that you start with is something that you never leave home without. I heard this wise guy, I think it's called Dr. L. Michael Paul or something like that. I don't know, he says all these strange things. He said, you never leave home without it. And that's your state. You never leave home without a state. Do you agree with me? And I had no concept. I didn't have no understanding in my head, especially not in my heart, and especially to do it, that I could decide what state I should be in. I was just a victim. People would say something to me, and I would be like the light that you would turn up and down. You would smile to me, and you would say, Lenny, you're doing great. And I would say, wow! And I would look at your face, because I didn't think you would like me. So I would just be like that, up and down. So to really get into a state which worked fine for me, that was a new concept for me, that I could do that. I worked with this company a couple of years ago, actually it's 8-9 years ago, with just women. 5 women working together. And you know when women are working together a lot, you know what happens? You know in the shops where they sell watches, you know what happened with the watches? They start going, the same. Well, that kind of happens to women and their women thing as well. So you might have 5 women being in the same cyclist at once. And that is fun. And they worked together for quite some time. And they quite often, once every month, for a week about, they would have the cyclist. And the way they talked to each other had become very, very familiar. Just like they were sisters, just like they would talk to their own family. They would just bring in their frustration, and especially about the men and the children in the family, and their mother-in-law, not to forget about their mother-in-law. So they like throw up all this frustration. And the manager is like, wow, this is like I don't know even what this is. And we can't work that way. Because it's like, if I come in and I'm really happy, and I'm coming in and I'm walking in and the rest of them is and before I know it, I'm in there too. Because it's contagious. It's contagious. People are throwing up and talking about bad things. It's not difficult to join them if you start thinking about your husband or your wife or your children and how they don't clean things and the toilet seat and all this stuff. So she was joining. So she was not being the great example. And she said, we have to stop this. So how can I stop it? So we talked. And she had a meeting with her 5 employees. And she said, I don't like what we have become. The stakes we're bringing into the office is not working for me. And they said, no, it's not working for us either. So she said, this is what we're going to do. Because in Norway, if you're sick, if you're really sick, you can call in. And you can have 3 days without the doctor's thing. You can have 3 days and you can say that I'm sick. So she said, we're going to have 2 days of sour days. Miserable days. I hate work day. So those days, you are going to call me and say that I'm sour today. Sour like a lemon. And I'm not coming into the office. So what happened? You think anybody called ever? No. Why not? Because she put a frame on it. That's not acceptable here. We want to be professional, and they had defined what professional was. And professional was, good morning. Hello, I'm looking forward to work. What can we do together? How can we reach our outcome for today? How can we support each other? How can I bring in my good state so that we will really work together? So the sourness, the miserableness, and talking about everybody else, that disappeared. I wrote an article about that. And I'm really proud, and I want you to celebrate me because something big happened last night. I went into the article, and 10,000 people have shared that article on the internet. And 3,005 has pressed like in addition to that. So now I'm just looking for 15,000. So that kind of hit people, that article, because a lot of people are really not taking responsibility for their estate. They're just walking in and taking it as, but I just have to empty myself. Makes me feel better. Yeah, you can say that, and then you're sitting there with all the shit in your head. So the state. So I'm wondering, what kind of state would be the best one for you? And when you are in really good state, how is your body language? Because I'm really excited. And I've been looking forward to this speech for so long, and you inspired me so much because we have like the same mission. And yeah, I'm really interested in getting to know you. So, what kind of body language would really be the best for you when you are in a good state? How will you show it? There is power poses. Power poses. If you just pull your shoulders back, your head up, even something like this sometimes, you will feel better. There are power poses. Just Google it. And so it's been research done by that. So just, it's completely different. And you know why? Because here you are down to the kinesthetic and here you are down to your inner thoughts. You know all this when you've done an NLP. power poses. So how will your body be? How will you support your state with your body? And how will you support your state with your beliefs? Well, yeah, I know I'm up on stage, but they just love to be nice to me, and the ones sitting in the back, they're just here to be polite. And they really hate everything I say. That's really supporting belief, isn't it? So what kind of beliefs? I'm going to have fun. I make a difference. Yeah? I can do this. I get better and better and better for every time I do this. What kind of belief would support a good state for you? So we need to talk about your beliefs. And we also need to talk about how that comes out in your words. Because you are giving yourself away the way you speak. Now I would try to sell this to you. And perhaps if you like what I have to offer, it would be great if we could talk again. Is that a great way of talking? No. So what kind of words would support that? So, what I'm going to tell you is how to power up, how to find meaning, and how to know and love your customer. And when we do that, I know that we can work together again. I know we can work later on. I know that you will change something. That's the kind of words that are powerful to me. So all this is giving you a focus. So I'm wondering, in your business, if you are employed, if you're a coach, if you're a trainer, if you have your own institute, if you work with other people, what kind of focus would you like to have? What kind of state do you need to be in? What kind of belief will support this for you? But I want to really, I like, my state is power up. Then I really need to, I cannot come in like this. So when I'm going to power up, that's a good state for me. When I'm powered up, I'm okay to take that telephone. I'm okay to enter into that meeting. The power up for me is not that I'm really relaxed. It is that I'm a bit excited. There's butterflies in my stomach, but they're not going wild. I have control by them, and I can feel the excitement. So what kind of state would you like to be in? What kind of beliefs would support that? And how would you use your body? So you're going to raise up, and you're going to go over to someone, and you're going to show them your body language, and you're going to say something. You're going to say what your focus is going to be, and you are going to believe it, and make them believe it. And if you don't believe it, fake it. If you can't make it, fake it. Because when you have done it a couple of times, you get used to it. Because your body might react. Because, oh, that's not me, I'm more shy. But, hey, I work with house of leadership. So, I know that we can work together. I know that I will make a difference in your company. That's quite tough to say. But I believe that. So what do you believe? Raise up. Just practice. Tell somebody that what you believe. Make the power pose. And then tell them something about yourself. About what state, what focus, what belief. Choose yourself you need to have to be in business, to do a great job. And then make them believe it. You have 2 minutes, you have to be quick. Up. While we're having these great conversations, I'm wondering if you ever did any mistakes. You did mistakes. Sometimes you did things that kind of you didn't want to happen. Because that's for me, I'm going to talk a little bit more of that. That's some of the learning. That's some of the best learning. So already now, I just want you as well to share just a small episode that you really did a mistake and what you learned from it. Okay? Tell them sometimes you did a mistake and you thought this was the end of it. This was so embarrassing. This, oh my God, how can I say that? And you survived, because I know, because you're here. You survived. So what did you learn? Short story again. Just tell, because you know what? It's therapy telling other about your mistakes. It's therapy. So let's have some therapy in the room. We have so much coaching. I need some therapy. So in my old life, I was scared shitless to make mistakes. And I was doing everything I could to hide them. And in the performance culture that I was coming from, if a mistake had been made, who did that? Why did that happen? That was the phrase. And I knew already that I had really... And I didn't need to hear that. I didn't need everybody pointing. Who did that? That was me. Why did you do that? Oh, I didn't need to do that. And I started explaining and I started arguing. And we never got around to really looking upon, so what happened? Why did that happen? What did we learn from it? How are we going to prevent that to happen again? So what is the common learning from this? We never got around to do that because we had the blame game. Oh, and it's so nice to play the blame game when you're not the one that's getting blamed. Because that makes me, then I can feel better than you. And you have always been better than me, and you've been selling more than me and doing more than me, but then, I'm up here again. But that didn't take us anywhere, did it? Have any of you been in that culture? Never, huh? You never play the big game. No, I know, it's somebody else. It's probably your friends or your husband or wives or mother or somebody else, but it's not you. So, after I didn't like doing mistakes. I have to tell you, I hated it. And I hated it coming to the NSTT, or the Neurosemantics Trainers Training. I wanted to be the best. And I've been in bed for almost 2 years, so I was not the best at all. I just started to use oxygen mask from my NLP practitioner and master practitioner, but I was still, very insecure. And I'm so kinesthetic, so you just touch me and the tears would start going. And I think, I'm not sure, Colin, but I think it was you that gave me one frame. And that frame, I think, saved my life. Every mistake is a great story. Every mistake is a great story. And that's what I've been doing right here today, is that I've been telling you about all the mistakes I did. And I've been doing that for 11 years, living off telling my stories about all the mistakes I have done and do. And I know I probably will do them in the future as well. Because I'm fallible, I'm human, and I do mistakes. And people ask me, Lena, you are the trainer, you've been doing this. You must have a perfect marriage. You must have the children that are... Yeah. Because I'm the best mother ever. And I'm always supporting my children. And I'm always listening. And I'm always the best state. I'm just a perfect coach at home, 24 hours. Why are you laughing? Yeah. Because we're not, right? Because life is coming in our face. So we will still make mistakes. And you know what? There is even a new word coming up. Have you heard it? Flawsome? Flawsome. It's a trend watching company that has presented that new word. It's a combination of flaws and awesome. Flawsome. It's awesome. Michael taught me another thing, that when you do mistakes, so the ones that has done the numismatic trainings, we do that. We know how to do that, because when we have a realization that we have done something that we have fucked up, or that we have some frames that doesn't work or anything like that, we just go, how, come on, you can do it. How fascinating. Let's do it again, because you have done some mistakes as well. How fascinating. And then we even put attention to it in the trainings. I just realized something. I've been doing mistakes, or I've been doing stuff all the time that didn't work for me. How fascinating. It's awesome. So, there is a media house called Schibsted, and the CEO there, Cass Phillips. What they are telling down to their organization is fail fast, fail early, and fail often. Wow! Could you give yourself permission to fail? Because I do believe that if you want to make success, if you want to excellence, if you want to actualize excellence in whatever business you're doing, you need to be aware of that you are human. You're from Earth. We do mistakes. We're not perfect. Fail fast, fail early, and fail often. There is even every month, at least it was in 2012, and I think it is in 2013 as well, there has been fail conferences around Europe, around the world. In Finland, they have an international day for failures. And Masuki, this is one for you. It's a book written by Spitzer and Tolley, you can Google it. 5 dangerous things you want your children to do. To learn them to do mistakes, like licking on the battery. Because we're not allowing our children to do mistakes, are we? We're preventing them from exploring. We're preventing them. We put helmets on. We teach them not to go climb into trees anymore. I mean, it's so restricted. So it's about the acceptance for being human, vulnerable, and for me to get away from who I was before, and to really power up where I was. I had to give myself acceptance to do mistakes, so I can move on. And there I was, learning that every mistake makes a great story. Because if I keep it inside, it kind of escalates and it gets bigger and bigger, and I get more and more embarrassed, and I try to hide it, and it knocks on there, and it makes me insecure. But you know, I can tell. And I have the luxury of walking and talking to people every day. So for me, it is therapy. I can hardly wait to tell my mistakes. I usually open my speeches by telling how my morning was. That I was driving wrong, and I was calling my husband and yelling at my husband the GPS was not working. Who's responsible? I know I am. I was talking about self-leadership, and I was calling my husband, yelling at him for the GPS not working. That started that conversation, right? So really, it's okay to do mistakes, and you have survived now telling somebody else about your mistake. So it's a gift, because then they see you. They see you as you are as well. They see the real you, the vulnerability, and Michael talked about this yesterday. So, mistakes. Okay, so I was powered up, I had a good state, I could learn from my mistakes, I knew how to do my states, I knew how to do my body poses, and I had some great beliefs that I wanted that I could do it. But I still didn't have my meanings around it. So I needed to figure out, what should I do, and why should I do it? Why should I do it? So that's when we went into the meaning performance. in here, expert in doing things. And for me, to start coming into why do I want to do it? That was the one that took the job for me. I really had to work. But then I knew my strength. I knew I could work in team. I knew I could communicate. I knew I could talk. And I had the love of people. So that's when we could really think about, and then I took NLP and charismatics, and I thought, this is what I want to do. The entrepreneur in me woke up again. So that was very quick. I knew that. I also knew that I had been in the business world. That was my thing, the business world. And a lot of the coaches, I don't know how it is in your country, but in Norway, a lot of the coaches are very like butterflies and healing and everything else, but not coaching. And if you go into their websites, it's just a whole lot of, what you call the thing, getting into the butterfly and, that process and angels and things on the website. And I knew that would not be okay for the business world. So I decided that I want business. I want to do coaching in business. And then just the name of the company, Coach Team, because I wanted to work in a team. I wanted to work in a team. And it's been a team that has been changing. The one I started the company with is not there anymore. He wanted to do something else. But for the last 8 years, I had the best team to work with. Found the ones that really had the same values as I did. And Ika and I, we're like talking more to each other than we are to our husbands. Sometimes our husbands are wondering, who are you really married to? It's like that sometimes in business. So I really had to go for what was important for me. And I was very much inspired by Walt Disney. If you can dream it, you can do it. My problem wasn't doing it. My problem was allowing myself to dream it. For some people, it's the other way around. They can dream it, but they're not able to do it. I knew I could do it. I know I can do anything. It just takes a whole lot of hard work. But I didn't dare to dream. So I had to really teach myself. I was in the nature, closing my eyes, doing nothing, and I was not used to doing nothing. I even walked from the bus reading a book. I didn't have a book or my telephone in the bathroom. Brushing my teeth, I'm reading. I was not used to not doing anything. And to start reflecting and to start dreaming, I needed to just close off, go into nature, sit down, lay on the couch, me laying on the couch, putting on some nice music and just start dreaming. And then finding out why do I want to do things? Why do I want to do it? And then talking to my colleagues, we really came up with what became and are like the mission of my life. And it's so good to have Tan Hock Eng here as well, because he has the same on his business card as we do. So we're more people that want that. And I heard Michael use this expression, it's making a difference. So the greatest meaning for me is making a difference. Well, that's not a huge meaning, isn't it? And what's good about it is that you can put a whole lot of performance down here that will meet up to that. But it is making a difference. So when I want to make a difference, I can never go in and sell something to somebody that they don't need. It always has to be a win-win situation. Because if not, it's making a bad difference. And I want to make not only a difference, but a good difference. So what is the most important thing for you? What really gives you meaning in the business that you're having or dreaming to have? Why are you allowing yourself to dream? And why do you want to do it? Why do you want to do it? For what purpose? What purpose do you want to have your business? What purpose? Why do you have the job you have? If it is, that's okay. I mean, if it is for the money, if it is because the job is just a job and you have your meanings elsewhere, that could be okay as well. Then you made a decision about that. What kind of meanings do you want to have? If not in your working environment, so in your private life, if that's giving you more meaning. Why do you want to do things? Just talk to the one, now you will talk to the one beside you. Tell them, what is your meaning for doing what you are doing? Or what is your meaning with the dream that you're carrying and not pulling through right now? Just very quick, 1 minute each. What is your meaning with what you're doing? So for us, putting up the greatest meaning of doing what we did, making a difference, we have to look at ourselves. And we have to see, have we really made a difference before? Honestly, have we made a difference? And then we thought, well, we had made small differences, but we needed to make huge difference. So by defining that that was our highest meaning, being together, being this team, doing this business together, we also saw that we have some more responsibility. So therefore, we also started talking quite a lot about social responsibility in our company, and we do a lot of social responsibility. We have been to Laos, Uganda, Bhutan, Nepal. This November I'm going to Kenya, Tanzania, where I'll do this. I will do leadership training, but I will do it in social responsibility, no pay. Because we want to make a difference. And when we want to make a difference, it's not only for me. It's for bigger, it's abundance. But we also have a meaningful thing for us, which might shock you, because it shocks a lot of coaches, because they're so heart-driven, that we want to earn money. We want to be a business. We even like money. We're not doing it to save the world. We like doing that as well. So is that meaningful for you to earn money? Does that give you the possibility to do things? It gives us the possibility that we can take 1 or 2 weeks every year that we will work pro bono. Sometimes I look at our company a bit like the Robin Hood. You know, in Norway we have oil. They have oil companies. Of course they should pay for our services. And then we can work pro bono for others. So that gives us meaning, and it pulls us together as a team. Because we have a project. Because usually every day we are performing so much. We're out working with the different companies, we're out doing things. But that pulls us together, and we never forget who we are. Because we are making a difference. And we want to get paid for it. So do you have allowance? Or do you have acceptance for getting paid? And paid what you're worth? And even raising your price? I just raised my price. I was just telling Femke last night. I just raised my price and Erika's price and the senior consultants in our company. We just had a conversation. I just had an idea because I'm allowed to dream now. So I get new ideas all the time. So I just had an idea. Why should we sell ourselves as other coaches? We have been in the business now for 10 years. So I'm going to make a program, and I'm going to price it up to like here. And I was just telling the first one because I will. I'm telling. But mistakes are about ideas. I was talking to one customer and I was saying, well, this is how we're going to work from now. We're not just going to work together 6 times in a coaching conversation. We are going to work together for a year. And this is how we're going to do it. Every month we're going to have a coaching conversations. In between we're going to have shadow coaching because we are going to agree on the outcome. And I'm going to shadow you to the outcome that we have decided. I'm going to shadow you, I'm going to be in your meetings, I'm going to see how you interact with your employees, and you're going to pay for that. And I'll give you feedback. And that will lift you even further and say, yes, when can we start? And I will give you 3 of them. It was just 1 month ago that I had this idea. And the price is high. Because I'm not the cheap car. I am the best car. I'm the luxury car. I'm the solid car. You allow yourself to give meanings also to being the best you, and allowing yourself to be priced and to be well priced, because so many of the coaches I do coach and mentor, they cannot take money. Because money is something bad. For me, money is energy. So we put meanings into money as well, because that allows us to do a lot of other good stuff. Okay, so I know where I am, I have powered up, I have started to find meanings about what I'm going to do, we have this vision about making a difference, you have your vision, you have your reasons for doing what you need to do, you have started to talk about it, you probably spoke about it before as well, and you will continue speaking about it. Because this needs to be spoken about, this needs to be spoken out loud. The first step is to allow yourself to dream. And my recommendation is to start dreaming. You have to learn to do nothing. And then you can start having creative workshops with yourself. But you have to start thinking. Allow yourself the peace. It's like when I'm watching television with my husband, I hate it. Because he's sitting like this. One program, 2 minutes, and then the next program, and then the next program. He's just, what do you call it?
Man. The man with the remote.
Channel surfing. Right. Channel surfing. You do that? You do that? Yeah. A lot of us do. And we do that in life, and we do that with ideas. We get one idea falling down, and they say, blah, 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 and we go to the next one, and then the critic is coming up and saying, no, that's not possible, and let's go do that. And never take time to really have the idea or the dream there. Keep it there. Let it stay for a while. Write it down. Talk about it. Taste it. How does it fit me? So I need to stop surfing and to take the idea down. And then comes, of course, I mean, if you stay it, if you continue just being a dream, people will get so tired of you. Have you met people that have been talking about their dreams for 1 year, 2 years? Yeah. Jenny, you're doing with your eyes. You heard that a lot of times, huh? So they're just talking about it. And it's still so fluffy. They're still in the meaning land, in the dreaming land. It's like Michael says, la 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 land. We dream about it, but nothing really happens. So we need to define it. That's where meta coaching comes in, huh? KPIs. Really define what you want. And then, what I have been asking you to do here quite a lot is to distribute. Start talking. Don't talk to people that you're afraid of would just laugh at you. Don't speak to the people that you're afraid of would go and do it quicker than you do. Talk to the people that you trust. Talk to your cheerleaders. Talk to people that you know can give you valid feedback. But talk. Because when you are talking, talk to a meta coach. Get clarification. Because when you talk, when you distribute it, you are making it real for yourself because you're listening to what you are saying. So you need to talk about it. You keep it a secret. And I had this dream for the last 20 years. Yeah, and sometimes I'm going to do it, I think so. It's going to be too late. But there's one thing missing. What's missing? Do it! Right. Do it! So going from the meanings to the performance. actualizing. Finding the connection. It's not this and it's not that. It's the synergy. Daring to dream. Find your meanings. You'll get action. So what market should you go into? Who's your customers? When I took my coaching education, when I took my NLP practitioner in Norway, my trainer told us that a coach is a coach. Doesn't matter what background you have. The coach ability is to ask great questions. So you can go anywhere. Yeah, in theory, I believe that. But in practice, I do believe that the best thing when you should enter into a market is to know something about that market. Start at where home is home for you. Mine was the business. I could not go in like you, Masuki, and I could not work with children. I had absolutely nothing in that world to do. Now I do. Now I'm so skilled in coaching that I can do almost anything with anybody, any place, anywhere. But I couldn't at the time. So if you have no experience being in the businesses, you don't go in and be a business coach in my world. So go where you're already good. Go to the markets that you already know. Because you really need to understand your customers. You need to know your customer. You need to find your dream customer. And you know those kind of customers that really wants to work with you? Do you have those? They just want to work with you. You can send somebody else in the organization, but they say, well, it's not the same. I want to work with you. We have this thing going on, and you understand me, and I want you. That's your heart customer. That's your heart customer. And those customers are the heart of your business. So who's your heart customer? Who are the customers that you know really would like to work with you and who you would like to work with? Because in my other job here, I was selling to I was selling anything to anybody. I didn't matter. I was selling to get paid. I was selling to put food on the table. I was selling to buy my kids' clothes. I was selling to pay my mortgages. And of course I had to do that as well. So some customers will just be customers. But who are the customers that really are your heart customers? Because those are the ones that you will build a relation with. Those are the ones that will continue being your customers. And you will not coach them year after year after year after year if you're in coaching business, hopefully. But they will stay connected. They will come to you again when they need something. Hopefully they will be able to survive without you. It's not a therapy relationship. But there will be some other issues. They will switch job, they will have other things that they will need you for. So who's your heart customers? What are the customers that you really would love to work with? Define them. Define them. I heard some, like Janine and, I forgot your name, who is really passionate about women leaders. So that's some passion for someone. That is what I really want to work with. Some other one, I don't want to work with leaders at all. I want to work with the kids. That's where the change is. Or I have one coach that works for us. She says, I don't want to work with the leaders. I want to work with the real beat of the company, the heart of the company. I want to work with the people on the floor. Because if I can make them have passion in their life, and just emerge up. So who do you have passion for working with? Who's your dream customers? Write it down. Write it down for yourself. Just write 2 or 3 keywords. What is your dream customer? What business is he in? What kind of world is he living in? Is it a school world? Is it other coaches? Is it leaders? Is it sports clubs? Is it family? Do you want to, is it teenagers? Is it career coaching? Who do you want to sell to? And if you're not a coach, still do it with the business you have. And those hard customers, what are they going to say about your business? How are they going to recommend your business? When they talk, when they're recommending your business, not you as a person, but your business, what are they saying? I've done so many mistakes. And I've been working with so many customers that I was not my best. Because I would be a bit desperate in the beginning. And I would just say yes to a job. And I knew I wasn't the best. I knew I should have sent somebody else. And sometimes even I had the experience that the customer asked for to get some money back. And I learned from that. I learned I have to take responsibility to power up. I have to check. Is it meaningful enough for me to do it so that I will get the synergy that I want? That's my responsibility, to get that meaning. And when I'm sitting there with the customer and I'm feeling that this is not right, I am not the right person, we are not the right company, then I'm not going to do it. So I have to say yes or no. And I might let some money go, because it's not giving me enough meaning. So to get that synergy, I have to check. And if I don't really know my customer, and if I don't love my customers, how can I be the best person to aid them? How can I be the best person to do that? So the day you start, or the day I stop loving what I do, I need to do something else. So I'm going to leave you with, I don't know who said this, but I think it's really great. Love what you do and do what you love. Love what you do and do what you love. And good luck in your journey. Good luck with learning from all your mistakes. Good luck in celebrating how fascinating, I did a mistake again, I can have some therapy. Tell people about my mistakes. Because you know, if you can dream it, you can do it. Thank you.